And 3, 2.
So I was really fortunate that I grew up in a Christian home that where I was always taught to love God and read the Bible, and I knew who Jesus was. Unfortunately, my family wasn't very devoted to church, and so I grew up knowing God and loving God, but I never really had community. And when I got into high school, actually my older sister got involved with another church, and that propelled my family to get involved with that church. But I was very introverted, and so I just never really got involved in that church. And I always knew I should get involved in a small group or do something to get more involved. And I just procrastinated and didn't do it. And I spent a couple years in high school, and loving God and knowing God, but knowing that I was missing something, and I kept putting it off. And then I finally told myself, well, when I turn 16 and I get my driver's license, I'll join a small group. I'll finally do that. And I got my driver's license on a Monday. I went to school the next day on Tuesday, and I had a friend invite me to a small group, a total God thing. And I didn't know what church it was with, but I just said, sure, I'll go, because it's something God had already done in my heart. And I said, all right, God, this must be you. And so that very next day, Wednesday, I went to a small group, and it turned out we were making a crazy video for an Oscars night thing that they used to do here at New Song, and just fell in love with the group. And I started going to that small group every single week, and it just so happened to be the student leader there was Brian Seed, and I went there every week and just loved it, and knew that I finally found the community element of following God that I had missed. And over time, I knew that I never wanted to not be in a small group, because God just really worked in teaching me and allowing me to build community with people around me. But I never really, if you would have asked me then, well, would you ever want to lead a small group? I would have said, no way. For one, I'm an introvert. For two, I don't have any leadership skills. Like, why would anybody want to be in a group that I lead? But sure enough, after being in the group for about 6 months, our adult leader, Michael Wright, he approached me and said, hey, James, I really think you should consider next semester being a co-leader, co-student leader of a small group. And I immediately said, dude, I think you've got the wrong guy. I can't imagine myself being a leader. Like, I love this group. I'll be here every week, but I can't imagine being a leader. And he just said, James, just go pray about it. And I said, okay, typical church answer, whatever. I'll go pray about it. And it was amazing what God really did. Is as I prayed about it, God revealed to me, and as I laid out all my excuses, and I felt like Moses in a lot of ways, saying, God, I'm not a leader. I'm not good with talking with people. I'm not. Laid out all the reasons why I wouldn't be a good small group leader, and God said, yeah, some of those might be true, but in your weakness, I'll be strong. And I really learned an important principle there, that sometimes our weakness is the truth is that God, that's when God shows up even more than when we feel like we're operating in our strength. And so I went back and I said, yes, I'll be a leader, and really, that story has happened like 5 or 6 times in my life here at New Song, where I've been challenged to step up in new ways, and every time I feel not equipped, but every time God reminds me that it's His strength that matters, and that's one of the things I love about our church here, and about 724 and what is now Elevate, is that we provide a place where people can, one, grow in a small group and really just encounter community. When you're going through some of the hardest times in your life. When I was in high school, my parents got separated and then divorced, and in 2007, my dad passed away. And those are some of the hardest times in my life. But really, the people, the community around me is what helped me to get through those times, and to realize that God did have a plan and He had a purpose for those things. And so I'm eternally grateful for the small groups I've been a part in, for New Song providing that community around me, and I believe that's the way God wants us to live. He doesn't want us to live alone. He wants us to live in community, and so I'm thankful for it. And my everybody I ever talk to, I tell them, get in a small group, because it takes your relationship with God to just a whole new level. It brings in the community element, because God doesn't want us to live alone. He wants us to come together and learn how to love and worship Him better. So that's my story, and I'm just really thankful for the way God's worked and really used a lot of other people here at New Song in my life to build into me.